Right. Good morning, Bea.
Good morning, Coach.
Okay, so yeah, how are you? How's home quarantine?
Yes, Coach, I'm doing fine, and also thank God, my family's doing fine too amidst this pandemic that we are experiencing right now. So, how about you, Coach? How are you today?
I'm good. I'm actually kind of busy, um, and I'm in good health, thank God, and my family too is okay. And yeah, let's just make sure we stay safe, stay healthy, be productive as much as possible. What's your activities after work?
After work, Coach, I'll have my Zumba.
Good for you. I haven't had any exercise for a while, but trying my best to eat healthy food as much as possible. But good for you. You have, you know,
Yes, Coach.
your own exercise. So yeah. Um, I think I've sent you an email for your scorecard. Did you receive it?
Yes, Coach, I got it already.
Okay, great. Were you able to review your performance?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, Coach.
Good. That's for your June performance. And I'm going to show you the snippets anyway. This is not the same as the scorecard I sent you, but it's just a summary of the trend, your June performance trend. I'm going to share
Okay,
that
Coach.
right now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Okay. Um, can you see
Yes,
the?
Coach.
Okay. So, what do you think about your performance? Can you share?
Yes, Coach. I can see it here that my scores are fluctuating at the month of June, and it's really not consistent.
Mm.
And also my HD too. Yeah.
Okay, what did you notice on the trend of your CSAT versus your HD?
So if my CSAT is higher, then my HD will go down. And then if my CSAT will go down, then my HD will go up too.
Or
Yeah.
it's the other way around.
Yes.
This, if your CSAT is down, your HD is very high.
Yes,
Oh no,
Coach.
if your CSAT is
I mean,
down, your HD is also down. Oh, I see. I get it now. And if your CSAT goes up, your HD also increases. And CSAT and HD should be indirectly proportional, meaning what we are aiming is a high CSAT and low HD.
yes, Coach.
Okay, and what we need to work on is to be consistent and to manage both KPM. Okay,
Yes, Coach.
and that's what we are going to discuss. I'm going to stop my sharing of screen so I can better see you. All right. Okay, so yeah, going back to our previous coaching, what um, what action plan can you remember that worked for your contacts?
Okay. From my previous action plan, I think the action plan that really worked for me is asking for probing questions, Coach.
Asking probing question. Can you tell me more specifically
Yeah.
about asking question? What asking question works for you?
Yes. Asking probing questions. I really applied it more specifically in PYI issues because I was able to manage PYI contacts in mastering the preset questions or the guide questions that I have. And it works specially that I was able to identify what troubleshooting steps I will provide or the steps that are needed only for that contact after gathering all of the needed information for the member before jumping straight to a resolution.
I see. Well, I can remember the previous coaching. We were working on PYI because that's one of the um, DSAT drivers at that time, and you're still really challenged on managing your PYI contacts. So you mentioned there were like preset questions. So I think yes, we were able to come up with preset questions, and you feel confident using it. And
Yes,
you think that
coach.
helped you manage your contacts and not jump straight to the resolution, right?
Absolutely, yes.
How do you think that affects your member experience?
So it will help me not assume and identify really what the member wants to, so I can provide the right resolution. And it also avoids member to repeat themselves and me also, coach.
Okay, so what do you think member feels if we ask question and not jump straight to resolution?
They would feel that we listen, we are listening, and we understand their we understand their issue, and that we are, or there is a willingness to help, coach.
Okay, very good realization. Yes, that's true. If we don't assume and then we try to understand to make sure we ask as much question as we can to really identify the issue, um, it would translate to a better customer experience. Member would feel more confident continuing with the contact, and continuing with the troubleshooting. If and it would give the member, if it'll give they will give you the trust that you'd be able to resolve their issue. So good.
Yes.
I'd like to comment also on a very good improvement on PYI. You were like 3.50 on PYI, and now I'm seeing a very good improvement at 4.15 for PYI contacts. So we will have to continue with those preset questions. I'm sure we were able to come up with those preset questions because it's easier for PYI contacts. How about for other contacts?
So yes, for like complicated issues, coach.
Yes. How do you
So I
feel
still,
asking question for those types of issues?
so it's easy for me to ask the questions if topics are very specific, like paying for items only with specific error message. I can simply go to my guide questions, but for complicated issues, I'm still not confident.
So how come you're not confident yet with complicated issues? What's our challenge?
I still try to ask coach, but more like leading questions. I feel that, yes, I feel that if MM doesn't know how to express themselves or how to explain their experiences, I would have difficulty if I let them explain rather than ask them very specific and leading questions. That's, I think, also saves my ADHD.
Okay, I would understand why you feel that, and we'll have a better discussion about that, okay? As part of our previous action plan, we will be doing role plays so that we can master asking open-ended questions. All right?
Okay, coach.
Okay, give me just a second here. I'm just going to prepare. Okay, one second. All right, so I'm going to show you um, the just an initial concern. I actually prepared two contacts that we will be doing role play right now because you've mentioned that you know, if you're still having a problem or challenge with asking questions, especially for complicated issues. I just want to um, ask, I want to understand what are complicated issues for you. Because if you can remember, we've discussed about a single solution and multiple solution.
Yes.
So what are complicated issues? Are those with single solution or multiple solution?
Multiple solution, coach.
Okay, so for a single solution, because you mentioned earlier, if there's a specific ask or if it's the issue is very specific, it's very easy for you to ask questions and you know and provide resolution. But for complicated issues, or what do you mean by multiple solutions? Is that I just want to make sure we're on the same page. We're talking about multiple solutions, right?
Yes, coach.
Okay, so I'm glad I've prepared the right contacts. I've prepared here two contacts that we will be doing role play. I'm going to share my screen real quick, okay?
Oh, sure. Okay, coach.
All right, one sec. All right. So these are surveyed contacts, and same as what we did before. Let's just dissect. Let's read the initial concern and help me identify if it's a single or multiple solution. Can you read the initial concern?
Oh, sure. So I've sold an item and I haven't received the money, but the buyer keeps insisting that the money is on hold. And the only way I can get it is by sending the item to him before I get my money.
Okay, and same as before, I have preset questions that we will be answering. Based on the initial concern stated by the customer, do we know what's the real concern of the member?
No, coach.
So what did you understand based on the initial concern? What did you understand as what's the main concern of the customer?
When I have this contact with the member, I think the member is just confused why really the buyer insisted for the items to be delivered or to be shipped before the member can get the payment, coach.
I see. And do you think there is still an opportunity for us to know more about the issue? Or was there any other issues that the customer might have that she's not able to discuss on the initial concern?
What do you mean, coach?
Do you think there are other issues aside from that the member is having?
I think that's just it. It's just that he wasn't able to provide how he would like to help. How he would like us to help him or to resolve the issue.
Okay. Let's start with identifying if this is a single or a multiple solution issue. Is this a single or a multiple solution?
I think it's multiple, coach.
Multiple solution. Why do you think it's a multiple solution?
Because as what I mentioned a while ago to coach that because the member did not provide specific ask on how he wanted us to help him resolve the issue.
I like it that you I know that we just started doing this, identifying if it's a single or multiple solution, and it's still a bit challenging to identify. But I'm glad that you have this, you have this identifier. If there's a specific ask, and if there's no specific ask, then you consider it as a multiple solution. Okay, now okay, I will honor your answer. Since you mentioned this is a multiple solution, do you think there is an opportunity for us to ask question to better understand? Do you think there's still a need for us to ask question? Okay, wait, give me 1 second. I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick. Hello, Bea.
Hello, Coach.
Yeah, sorry for the technical difficulty. All right, so yeah, going back, I'm going to share my screen again. The last question I asked, if there's still a need for us to ask question for this contact, open-ended question.
Open-ended question. I think yes, Coach.
Okay. All right, so looking at the contact, I think I've sent this to you too. Were you able to review this before we started this coaching? Okay, great. Just looking at the contact, were we able to ask questions?
Yes, Coach, I was able to ask question, but it was not an open-ended question, Coach.
So what type of question did we ask?
Closed-ended.
And these are, let's try to dissect. Do you have the item number? What else?
Yeah, I think that's
this
yeah,
for
this is
the, yeah, those are very specific question. What type of questions are those?
Closed-ended, Coach.
Closed-ended question. So let's go back and read. I've sold an item and I haven't received the money, but the buyer keeps insisting the money is on hold, and the only way I can get it is by sending the item to him before I get my money. You try to clarify. You're going to take this chat again. What type of open-ended question do you think could work? For this contact?
Open-ended question. I think I will ask if how did the buyer pay for the item? Like, did you send? Open-ended. How did the buyer pay for the item, Coach?
How did the buyer pay for the item? Okay, that's one good question. Another, can you think of any other open-ended question?
I think that's just it for me, Coach.
Do you think if we ask this, we'll have a better understanding of what's the real concern of the customer? So what could be the possible answer for this question? How does the buyer pay? How did the buyer pay? So how did the buyer pay? Let's say I'm the customer and I'll tell you. The buyer paid through PayPal.
Like, did you send a PayPal manual invoice?
No.
Or did he pay outside eBay?
What type of questions are we asking?
That's close-ended.
Close-ended questions. Okay. I see I mean, this is still a challenge, and you mentioned this before, but there's still a challenge asking open-ended questions, especially for multiple solutions. Um, uh, so if having preset questions for PYI specifically works for you, then we will have a list of possible open-ended questions that you can use, and you tell me if what open-ended questions would work on this situation. Okay? Sorry, I think we're having a technical difficulty again.
I'm sorry, Coach.
Were you able to hear me earlier?
No, Coach. You're cutting in.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry about that technical difficulty again. But the last thing I said, I think I've said, I've mentioned about, I will show you sample open-ended questions, and then you tell me if what open-ended question would work on this particular content, okay?
Okay, Coach.
So these are just very few of the questions that you can ask. Remember, open-ended questions. So what do you think would work on these particular contact? I'll share my screen again. Did I stop sharing? Can you hear me, Bea?
You're cutting in and out again, Coach.
Okay.
A while ago, but it's okay, thank you.
It's okay now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm going to share my screen again. And then I have here set of, were you able to get the open-ended questions?
I'm sorry, Coach. I cannot hear you now.
Wait, give me 1 second. So, yeah. So are you hearing me better now? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, a while ago I cannot hear you a while ago, Coach.
Okay, sorry for the interruption, but I think we're having a problem with connection. Were you able to see the set of open-ended questions I've composed earlier?
No, Coach.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen and I will. Did you see the notepad?
Yes, Coach.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so these are like 2 open-ended questions that I've come up, and then you tell me, because we're going to review 2 contacts. So you please tell me what open-ended question will work for that contact. Okay? Can you take note of these?
Oh, sure. I'll just
Or I'll show this to you later. I'll show that to you later. I'll go back to the same screen with the contact. So Going back to this issue, what do you think is the right open-ended question we should be asking for this member?
So from the given open-ended questions that you provided, Coach, I think the best open-ended question that I should ask is how or what resolutions are you looking for today?
What resolution are you looking for today?
Yes, Coach.
Uh, give me 1 second. I'm going to. Okay, so which part of the chat you should be asking that question? Which part here?
I think it's or within the acknowledgement, or yeah, within the acknowledgement statement, Coach. Or
I see. So this is you've mentioned about the acknowledgement. What's your acknowledgement statement on this contact?
I just said, Coach, I understand about that. That's all.
Do you think there's an opportunity on the acknowledgement?
Yes, Coach.
If you're going to compose the acknowledgement statement, recompose, how would you do it differently?
I think it's better to say, I understand that you're a bit confused why the buyer insisted to ship the item first and that the payment he made was just on hold, but you weren't able to receive any payment yet. But do not worry, we will be checking on it to confirm it here. To confirm if there is really payment made and if it is on hold.
It's a bit long acknowledgement statement there. I would understand why it's a bit long because you cannot decide yet what's the real issue of the customer. That's why it's very important that we ask questions so we can dissect and we can identify what's really the issue. Now, be careful when you say, I understand you're confused because the member did not explicitly mention that they are confused. So we may word it differently. Okay, so I understand, or you can just simply state what the customers mentioned. I understand you're contacting us about the payment that you haven't received yet. And you mentioned the buyer or that you haven't received yet and that the buyer is asking you to send the item before you get the money. Don't worry, I'd be happy to assist you. Okay, with the willingness to help. But we don't stop from there, okay? Acknowledgement is just how we understand the initial issue of the customer. So now that we're able to acknowledge and provide willingness to help to the customer, what question should we be asking at this point? Now that we're not sure what really is happening.
First question is the one that you provided, Coach, like what resolutions or how do you want me to help you get this resolved? Or what resolutions are you looking for today?
What resolution are you looking for today? Okay, so that's one good question. I'll try to think what the member could, how member would reply to that question. Okay, I'm trying to check. If I'm the member, what resolutions are you looking for today? I need help because I don't think it's right that I sent this item and I don't have their payment yet. So were you able to dissect what the member is really concerned of?
I think yes, Coach, because he's just confused if if he will go, I mean, if he will ship the item, even if he was not able to receive the payment yet.
Confused or more of concern, right? So the member is really concerned that he's going to send the item without the money, right?
Yes.
Do you think that's what they're really concerned?
Yes, coach.
Final answer?
Yes, coach.
Okay, very good. So the member was able to, I mean, the member mentioned a lot of things, but they're able to drill down to what they're really concerned, that they're concerned that they're going, what if, I mean, they didn't have the money. How come they're, I mean, they're not confident in sending the item without getting the money. So yes, we're able to, so those questions that you asked, let me see, I checked in, but no payment made yet by the seller. I'm the buyer. I'll send you what you wrote to me. Okay, sure. Dude, I think you understand. My payment is on hold, waiting that the item is delivered for release the money. Seem to find any payment made by him. And even if it's on hold, we should have a record on that too. Okay. So this is your resolution. So what I can suggest is that you need to contact back the buyer and tell him that you already contacted us and you confirmed that there is no payment made yet. And you will not be shipping the item until we can confirm with your seller that you need to ship the item already. So if we could have asked the question, what resolution, and then the member said about the concern about sending the item, and we're able to research. Do we need to ask for item number, or
yes?
Do we need to ask the item number, or we can just search it on the account?
But to make sure, coach, I think we need to ask for the item number because
I'd like to, I think, yes, it's easier to ask for the item number, but do you think that'll be easy for the member?
No, I think, coach, because I had also contacts that they are having troubles or difficulties looking for the item number.
Okay, so sorry about that. I think I'm trying to fix some connection problem here. All right, so yeah, going back, we were discussing about the issue, and if we could have, I mean, I already mentioned about asking for the item number. I asked if it's easy for the member to get the item number. Do you think it's easy for them to get the item number?
No, coach.
Yeah, and our goal here is to lessen customer effort, right?
Yes.
So as much as possible, if there's something that we can research on the account and not ask the customer, then it's better for us to do that and then just confirm if that's the item that we're talking about. Okay, so we could have just access the account and then check, I'm looking at this item right now. Are we? Because I only see very few items. Unless there's a lot of items that the member purchased, then you can ask, just have them describe what item. Because if you can get like a keyword of the item, you can just Control F, find the item on the purchase history. So if once a member was able to provide the item number, I think we would be able to check for them the status of the payment, which you're able to do. At the same time, going back that they're concerned of sending the item without payment, how are you going to provide resolution?
And what was resolution?
What was the best resolution if the main concern of the member, is their concern if they're going to send the money, I mean the item, without receiving the payment yet? If that's their concern, what's our resolution?
First off, we really need to check on our tools if there's really a payment.
Okay, so I think you checked already, and the answer is no payment yet made by the buyer. So how to address the concern of the main concern of the member?
So I will tell, or I will say that I can see here, I was able to check on our tools that, or on my end, that there was really no payment made by the buyer. Because even if he paid it, let's say he paid it outside eBay or maybe through PayPal, we will still have the record if there is really payment made. So the payment is not on hold too, so no need to ship the item first. And you can contact, or you can send a message to the buyer that you already contacted us here on eBay, and we confirm with you that there was really no payment made.
Okay, I'm going to show you, if I'm going to take the chat, and then we're sure that the member is concerned about sending the item. Now, how we're positioning the resolution is to address the concern. I understand your concern about sending the item without the payment, which is actually, you have a good point there. Now, I'm seeing that there's really no payment made by the buyer, so you shouldn't be shipping your item without payment. So what I would suggest is to wait for the payment to clear, and once it's cleared, that's the time that you ship your item. Going back to your concern about the buyer contacting you, you can go ahead and tell the buyer that no payment has cleared, and that they have to contact their funding source and see what happened to the payment, why it's still showing pending.
Okay, Coach.
Did we know at this point what was the communication between the buyer and the seller?
No, Coach.
Do you think that's one of the opportunity that there's an opportunity to ask questions about that or to understand?
Yes, Coach. I think it's better to, maybe I should ask the member, if I can read their conversation to really understand or to really confirm what the buyer told him.
Is it better that you read the conversation, or is it better to ask that from the customer? Or
I think better read the conversation, Coach.
okay, here's the thing. Because what we want here is for the member to open up. I think I'm getting it now. You want to take control over the conversation, right? I think I'm getting it. I don't think we have time for the next contact, but I'm getting now that we're able to review this one contact, what's happening. So you want to take control with reading the conversation instead of asking the member what was your how was your conversation, or how was your conversation between your buyer. How's it going on? What's your hesitation in asking that versus you reading the messages?
Yes, because in some contexts that I had, Coach, before, is that if I read, or there are differences really, and how the member explained how the other member stated their, like, there are really differences if just read it, because you will really have, or you really get the main issue between them, instead of asking the member, because it will really change the statement, Coach.
I understand that you really wanted to be sure But do you have any other hesitation? So I think what you're telling me is you don't want member, you just want to check it yourself to really make sure rather than hearing it from the member. If you are the
And
member, and would you want to share your experience, or would you want someone to read your messages if you're the customer, if you're on the customer street?
for if I'm the customer, yes, I think it's better to. I'm, I'm not sure, coach, because it really depends. If it's if the member is like, because there are a lot of members too that are like they're in a hurry and they wanted to get the issue resolved. So it's better to really read the conversation rather than asking them or let them explain, because I think it also saves both of our time and also my HD. So, but if I'm the customer, I would really love to explain my experiences, because I think I can say that the representative or the agent is really willing to understand and listen to me.
Okay, very good realization right there. Okay. I know that we have KPMs that we protect, like our HD, and I know that you're also concerned with your talk time. That's why you, as much as possible, you take control over your contact. But we are a customer service, customer centric. We make sure. We're customer service. Basically, we want a better customer experience. When member calls us or chats with us, they want to be heard as much as possible. And you mentioned that if you're the customer, I'd like to explain myself. I'd like the representative to listen to me, to understand my situation. So I think if we could let the member open up and make them explain what's happening versus us just checking it and put our own understanding over what we're reading, would it is better than continuing to try to control over the conversation, because it's not about HD is not about controlling the conversation yourself. What's important is we give the customer time to express themselves and be heard. Okay,
Yes,
and
coach.
everything else will follow. Because let's say the customer tells you different, and then you try to read the messages and it's different. So I think there's an opportunity there to ask more questions to understand. But as much as possible, we wanted them to express. So do you think, so what questions we should be asking for them to share?
I think the one or the other open-ended question that you provided, coach, like how or what's the step that you already did, or
Try to resolve,
yeah,
to try
to
to
resolve
resolve.
it.
Yes,
Yes.
because that will make them open up. Let's say, I'm already contacted about this is our conversation. Do you think that, are we still going to go that route on the resolution? Maybe different, because the member might be sharing us additional information. So from here, we cannot further discuss on the resolution because we're not able to establish it on this contract. Do you agree?
Yes, coach.
What if there's other things that is happening and we're not really able to know because we didn't ask the customer to share more,
Yes.
right? So I think the main root cause that that I understand based on what we've discussed is that you thought that controlling the contact would save both of your time, the member and you. But if this is the contact and we're not able to really understand, and we're not sure if this is the right resolution, will this save the customer's time?
No, coach.
Why? What could be the possibility?
Because I think it will really spend, you will really have so much time before you can gain both of you, gain your agreement.
It's difficult to gain agreement, right? It's difficult to gain an agreement, especially if the member wasn't done yet expressing or sharing everything.
Yes,
At the same
coach.
time, if this contact ends like this, and then we're not able to really understand what's happening, what went, what how their conversation went, um, the member would there's a possibility that the member will call us back or contact us back, right? And we don't want that to happen because it's a waste of time and a waste of effort on the customer's end. So you understand how asking open-ended question would help the overall customer experience.
And what was it again, coach? I'm sorry.
So do you know now the importance of asking open-ended question?
Yes, coach.
Okay. So yeah, now since we are in the same understanding that asking open-ended questions to really identify, we're still on the issue identification here, okay? So long as we master issue identification by asking open-ended questions, that's when we can proceed with other behavior. So right now, don't think about the resolution or jumping right straight to the resolution or something like that. We need to focus on issue identification by asking open-ended question, the right open-ended question, making the member share and open up. Okay?
Okay, coach.
So our action plan. So what's going to be our action plan for your next contact? So you can apply it on your next contact.
I will need more like role play, coach, like this. I need more practice.
And we will be having more of this. This is a very good realization for me too. And I think we're not really able to get the right root cause last time. We just targeted the very specific topics. Yes, the PYI. But I'm glad it helped you because we really badly need to work on PYI last time. But for this one here, it doesn't matter what issue we're dealing, okay? Regardless of any issue, asking open-ended question is better to get a good customer experience. So more role play. Aside from that, can you think of any other action plan?
Yes, coach. I think I'll place a note here at the side of my monitor to remind me.
All right. But do you know what are those questions that you should be asking?
What was it again, coach?
Do you know what are those questions that you should be asking your member?
Like open-ended questions, coach.
Okay, but did you have any idea what type of open-ended questions you will be asking? Do you have a list? Do you have a list? Or is it better for you to have a list of open-ended questions that you can ask your customer?
Yes, I think that will be good, coach. Like the PYI, I will have a list on open.
Yes, because before it really worked for you having the list of open-ended questions. Okay, so we will have a bank of open-ended questions, and I try to read them carefully, and then on your contact, actually these questions is applicable on most issues. Okay, as long as you identify if it's a single or multiple solution. If it's a single solution, you try to acknowledge or try to confirm if that's really what the member wants, and then you can proceed with the resolution, right? It's easy to gain agreement if it's a single solution. Now, if it's a multiple solution, this is where your open-ended question comes in. And you will have a list of open-ended questions. I have here my list. I'll be sharing that to you. But you're free to discover new open-ended questions, and I will be happy to see more open-ended, or to hear, or to see to see more open-ended questions on your next chat transcript that we will be reviewing. Okay.
Okay, Coach. Yes, I will try my best.
All right. So I think yes, if you think that it will work for you, having the note beside your monitor as a reminder, that's one of our actions. That's going to be part of our action plan. I'll take note of that. Second is you will have a list of those open-ended questions so you can review and you can use it on your chats. Was your first action plan? Role play. We'll have more role play on our follow-up coaching session. We will have a follow-up coaching session on Monday. The date on Monday, that's July 20, and another one on Wednesday. So I don't think we'll have time like 1 hour, even if it's just 30 minutes pull out. We will do role play because it won't take us that much time. All right. So how am I going to assess this? So I will review 6 of your contacts. All right. I will going to review 6 of your contacts. What is the percentage of your contact do you think that you can commit yourself to be doing this action plan, asking open-ended questions? That's like realistic percentage.
Like maybe 50%, Coach?
50%. So if I'm going to review 6 chat contacts, there should be like at least 3 contacts. Let's make it at least 50 because I'm pretty sure you can do more. Now that you're very aware how this would impact your customer experience, I'm pretty sure you'll try your best to do more than that 50%. But let's target at least 50, and I will evaluate 6 contacts. 3 of it, I'm expecting that you're able to apply our action plan. Okay?
Okay, Coach.
When do you plan to start this?
Maybe tonight.
Tonight, all right.
Tonight's shift, yeah.
Very good. Tonight shift. So I will start my evaluation for your contact starting tonight. And what's our target CSAT to hit by the end of the week?
At least, I mean, my season is still good for the running week.
Yes.
Last time I checked, it's 4.48. But I will make sure I will finish the week hitting at least target of 4.22 or higher by end of this week.
Or higher, right? I know our target is 4.22, but you're already there, 4.40. So if we're going to continue with this action plan, I'm sure you can maintain or exceed 4.40. Okay, and I'm very excited to see the results by the end of the week. Okay, so what else? How do you think this will affect your overall customer experience in this action plan? How would the member feel? What are we looking for? Let me rephrase my question. What are we looking for on members' survey verbatim? What are you expecting for on the survey verbatims of the customer after we apply this action plan?
I think it was that members would feel that I'm really willing to listen and understand. And it's also easy for me to gain agreement with the resolution since I'll have better understanding of their situation. and how they want the issue to be resolved.
Yes. So what we will be seeing is that the teammate
Yeah.
is willing to listen. Teammate really understands my situation. She's able to provide me the right resolution. I just want to share this because there are weeks. I mean, starting July, your CSAT is already there. But I've noticed that the resolution, we're still challenged with resolution percentage is not still not hitting target. I know we don't look at that as part of our KPM, but as part of the KPIs or indicators, um, your resolution is still challenged. So I'm pretty sure this action plan is very good for us to get the right resolution because we're able to understand the issue correctly. Okay, I will also check on the resolution percentage by the end of the week and see how that improves our resolution. All right, because
Okay,
you
coach.
mentioned you're expecting member to give a survey that we're able to give them the right resolution. So yeah, I'm excited. And do you have any question, Bea, before we end this coaching session?
Then I think we're all good, coach. I think I'll try it. Yeah, I will try my best.
Great. I'm sure you're going to try your best, and I'm very happy to hear a very good realization today, and sounds a very good action plan. So we'll see you in our next follow-up coaching session. Okay.
Okay, coach. Thank you
All right.
so much.
Thank you for sharing, Bea. Thank you for your time today.